Hi, good morning. This is the Bitcoin Brief. We have Jimmy on today. Potentially Giacomo may jump in, and Tone. Tone, how's it going? I think it's your last day in Staten Island.
No. I'll be going back and forth. I'll be doing the show from home tomorrow, and then I gotta go to the New Haven, Connecticut meetup tomorrow night. And after that, Thursday, Friday, who the hell knows? We'll figure it out.
Sounds good. Jimmy, how is it?
Things are going well. Just working away, I guess.
You put out another YouTube, I think, another interview this morning.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I mean,
it's
not
these
interview.
like five minute videos. I want to do a lot more of them and just sort of answer questions in a quick soundbitey way, so I could get more of them views on YouTube.
Smash the likes. All right, I love it. Okay, we're jumping in today, guys. So, 3 billion FTC warns consumers could pay high price for crypto scams. That's because they've been following Tone's crypto scam YouTube channel, and they've decided to go right ahead because they're big fans. Tone, what's going on here? What specifically the minutia of what the FTC is up to? What'd you think?
I mean, they're starting to realize that all these ICOs are not innovative at all, in other than scamming money from unqualified investors. And the more people lose money, and the more people after they lose money go on and start complaining to the government, the more the government is going to get involved. The crypto space, the crypto ecosystem has done, like, I want to say they have done zero job policing the scams, but I would be lying if I said it. They've actually done a grossly negative job policing the scams. They're not policing them at all. They're encouraging them. They're encouraging more and more people to print money. They're encouraging more and more people to print this stuff, including lots of VCs that are encouraging more ICOs because they can get in early and they can get out early and sell that bag onto the unqualified investor. And this bubble will continue to manifest. It will continue to grow. I don't know where the end of it is. It's interesting that if you scroll down in that article, Coin Center is once again involved. Peter Van Valkenburg. And I have like this love-hate relationship with Coin Center. I first hated Coin Center when they were doing all of this AML KYC compliance. This is the world before all of the ICO scams, and I was very critical of Coin Center for that. And then I actually liked Coin Center when they were trying to, to make sure that you don't have like multi-sig wallets and stuff. You're not responsible for other people's money because you're technologically not. So they did a couple of some good things. But now I'm once again getting very frustrated with Coin Center because the lawyers at Coin Center have zero comprehension that Ethereum is an unlicensed, unregistered security fueling all of these scams. And so again, it's really weird what's going on. And I would love for someone to do an investigation on where Coin Center's money is coming from to do all their lobbying, because there's a good there's a pretty damn good chance it's coming from a lot of these ICOs.
Thanks, Tone. Jimmy, I would love to hear your thoughts. Also, to note at the bottom, which I thought was interesting and that you may like, the event also saw calls for approaches to self-regulation. And I quote, and this is from the Van Valkenburg again: if you yourself are not capable of explaining to somebody what a token's supposed to do, you should not buy the token. If you can't tell the wheat from the chaff, or what is techno gibberish or actual innovation, you should not participate.
So sorry, before Jimmy answers, he needs to ask that question to himself in regards to Ethereum before they start explaining to the government why it's not a security. All right, go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, we know that people are getting scammed. Like, we've already had a ton of scams. This space has been scammy from like 2011 or so. There's always been somebody that's scamming. Part of the process of learning about this stuff is learning not to fall into scams. That's a virtue. It's something that everyone should learn how to do, is identify scams, not invest in stuff that you don't understand and things like that. You know, the government likes to regulate all that away and say, oh, we're going to protect you by, you know, getting rid of the most obvious scams or something like that. I think that's the wrong approach. I think you should let people learn from them, learn for themselves, and learn through pain, because that's the way that you're going to learn the best. As far as Coin Center goes, I did go to the Coin Center dinner at Consensus. That was fun and everything. I don't agree with their sort of lumping all of these cryptos into one bucket kind of strategy that they've been doing. I think Bitcoin is different than everything else. And I don't like that they're doing that. As far as like where their finances come from, I believe it's mostly from donations. Where those donations come from, it's hard to say. I'm going to guess, you know, some Bitcoin whales, obviously, because many of them were at the dinner. So if they're contributing, then, you know, you get a seat at the dinner or table or whatever. So there's obviously those people, but there's also, in addition, you know, like all these foundations of these companies or these coins and ICOs and so on, like Tone was saying, because I saw a lot of those people there too. So my guess is a mix of both. I mean, I still like that they're at least fighting for Bitcoin and trying to come up with rational hands-off legislation. I just don't like that they're lumping everything in the same bucket. That's and this is like what the SEC will eventually come to as well, is that, you know, Bitcoin's different than these other things. These other things have a centralized point of control. They're going to be able to control them pretty well. So this reminds me of Alan Greenspan's irrational exuberance speech. It's kind of like, hey guys, calm down a little bit. Of course, it's a little too little too late, just like Greenspan was. So yeah, that's my guess.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. Yeah. Okay, moving to a16z. This is Andreessen Horowitz, obviously. They have launched a $300 million recent fund. What I find interesting about this, and they put a very interesting and powerful woman at the helm. I am impressed by her. I have been impressed with Andreessen in the past, but not regarding blockchain and crypto at all. As we remember, they invested in Ripple multiple times and also other companies that did a pre-sale. So they are talking about Satoshi Nakamoto, and they're mentioning the white paper, and they're very Bitcoin, but this is a blanket crypto fund. So I'll just leave it there for now. I'll make my opinions known a bit later, but I'll go back to you first, Tone. What did you think about the news that Andreessen is launching this $300 million fund, crypto fund?
It doesn't give any details, right? I don't know what a crypto fund means. I don't know what his definition of crypto is. I don't know what his definition of a blockchain is. Is this trading, or this? It's not. It sounds like it's like blockchain capital, kind of. You pull a bunch of money and then you invest in companies in the crypto space. Now, that's what I'm assuming it is. They do not give any details as to how they're going to be investing. Are they going to be buying the pre-ICOs and then selling them on, let's say, Bittrex? It doesn't say. If you scroll up, however, the other way. If you go back up and you look at that list of underlying terms, right? Now a16z and Andreessen, they believe that you can have application-specific currencies, which is ridiculous. There's absolutely, please go back and read Saifedean's book, everyone, where he quickly explains why application-specific currencies is totally ridiculous. It's the craziest idea ever. It's literally paying for eBay auctions with eBay stock. Digital property rights, now we know that on a blockchain, that's just stupid. Open financial instruments, I don't know what that means. Software-based organizations, sounds like the DAO. So if these are his intended interests of, investing money, please, for the love of God, do not give this man any of your money. He's going to turn it into a big goose egg. And he'll probably be buying up the ICOs. They'll probably sell the ICOs immediately. and they'll end up making money by scamming you, the end user.
Okay. Yes. Gotcha. And Jimmy, before you respond, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. I would also love to point out, and your thoughts later on, it says, and I will quote from it: "One reason we created a new fund is to have maximum flexibility. We invest at all stages, from seed stage pre-launch projects to fully developed later stage networks like Bitcoin and Ethereum. We'll invest in traditional financial instruments like equity or convertible notes, and new instruments, including the direct purchase of the coins and tokens." So, Jimmy.
Yeah, this article reads like a bunch of buzzwords. I don't know what a lot of that means. Blockchain computers were first proposed in 2008. Blockchain computers, really? Yeah, that's not. I like. It's just trying to. Digital property rights, open financial instruments, software-based organizations, application-specific currencies, crypto goods, tokenization. I mean, you'd fill up your entire bingo card on with buzzwords. It's kind of crazy, like what this is trying to do. It's like they tried to pack as many buzzwords into a press release as possible. I didn't think that was possible given like some white papers I've read, but yeah, this is crazy. It's I don't know if they know what they're doing. I don't think they've really thought very deeply. Well, I mean, maybe they have, and it's this is a way to get more money into their fund, and then they think they can play this in a way as to make a lot of money by selling this stuff later to the public or something like that, which to be fair, this what VCs have gotten really good at, is capture a lot of the value early and then sell it to the public when it becomes a lemon. I think Snapchat is a pretty good example of that. It was popular. The VCs captured most of the value and the public is left holding it back. So I don't know if that's what they're trying to do or whatever, but yeah, this press release means very little to me. It's just a bunch of buzzwords. Maybe there's some thought behind this and more, like specific stuff. Like if you were to sit down with them and ask them about their strategy, whoever the woman that's leading this is, maybe that would be better. But this reads completely like a marketing paper and not anything to do with the tech. And if you've studied the tech, most of this stuff doesn't make any sense. Application specific currencies. When's the last time you paid for a smoothie with smoothie points, or you went to Applebee's and paid with Applebee points? I mean, maybe if you got a gift card as a gift.
You're right. You pay with points. I don't have a problem with paying with points. Points are pegged. They're pegged to the US dollar. When was the last time you paid in Applebee's stock for your, I mean, that's the comparison, right? This is my driver that these are freaking speculative securities.
Yeah, and it doesn't really make any sense. Most of the stuff, quote unquote, that Ethereum enables, none of that stuff works. And they've proven not to, or nothing's worked so far. And I doubt that they can overcome like the Oracle problem and many other things. It's I don't know. This press release doesn't mean very much to me, and I don't see it actually. I don't know. Their fund's probably going to do something different. This is like kind of a dirty secret of a lot of VC funds, is that you say one thing, but you end up doing something else because you just keep piling money on the winners. And if that's their strategy, then no doubt they're going to end up investing mostly into Bitcoin because those are going to be their big winners.
I doubt it, right? I don't think they're going to invest in Bitcoin at all because they're competing with other stupid funds. And if other stupid funds are making these enormous returns by piling into scams, then no one is going to give a16z money. So they're going to have to follow the other stupid funds.
Well, they have they have a huge brand, and there's a lot of people that are willing to put money into a16z because Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz are kind of celebrities in the VC world, and they're known, they've published books and so on. So I don't know. I don't think they're going to lack, LPs for their fund. I mean, and they will invest at least some into Bitcoin-based stuff. Andreessen Horowitz was a big investor in Coinbase, for example. I mean, maybe they'll even put some money into actual Bitcoin as well. They said they're very open to it. Surely, at least some percentages in Bitcoin, just in case. So, yeah, I mean, this is what VCs do. They make a lot of bets. Most of them don't work out. But the ones that do, they pile more money into, and that's generally their strategy, is to capture value early. A lot of the I think most of these things, application-specific currencies, digital property rights, open financial instruments, software-based organizations, most of that's not going to pan out. But if they put money into Bitcoin, some of that will pan out. They'll get pretty good returns compared to the dollar versus Bitcoin. I don't think so.
Yeah, they missed one buzzword. They're calling it the all-weather fund. It should probably be, a global warming protection fund, and then they would cover all the buzzwords.
No. Climate change fund. Climate.
I wanted to reuse the word weather.
All right, moving on to the next one. I have a strong background with Andreessen and just working in venture capital for a stint of my life there for about 2 years. But so just to say, yes, it's crazy when we throw out huge numbers, although $300 million, and that is a lot of money. Just to pin it a little bit, in 2016, and I met the GP of it, a very smart guy, they had closed 1.6 billion for their bio investing. So, Andreessen is a very smart company, yet the way that they did write this is very dumb, I'll say. And if you keep reading through it, and this is straight from their website, it isn't, a press release, exactly to the points of what you guys just said, they actually don't sound very intelligent at all about how they're saying this crypto world. They've also said that they are structuring their fund in a new way where it can, if I understand correctly, but I can't because they're not really explaining it very well, that it can last more than 10 plus years. For anyone that's worked in venture capital, typical fund structures are around 7. I mean, you have a very specific guideline on how funds are structured with their LPs. And I guess just finishing off that, right, they invested in Coinbase, I'm pretty sure, as well as, right, Ripple, CryptoKitties, but they've invested in ICOs a lot. So they do have this background. They obviously have a lot of companies in the blockchain space that have absolutely failed. Finishing off, yes, 9 out of 10 startups fail. That's why you bank on the 1 out of 10 that doesn't. But I would also see this as maybe them, and we've said before, trying to cover their ass and finally find one that's gonna take them out of this hole that they've lost a lot on before. But it kind of, especially with everybody going after the ICOs, I guess we'll see on this one. I will stop talking and go into Bitmain's mining pool. So Bitmain's mining pools now control nearly 51% of the Bitcoin hash rate. Kind of been circling around with this story, it seems like, for months and months, but now this one is back out with a little bit of a twist. Jimmy, what did you think when people all over the Twitter sphere a bit have been talking about this and this article specifically?
I don't know if that's true. If you scroll down a little bit, it says Bitcoin mining pools controlled by China-based industry giant Bitmain now account for more than 40%. So it's not close. I mean, it's getting closer. Antpool and BTC.com are the two big ones, and that is at 42%. That's still like 9% away, and that may not sound like a lot, but that's actually a lot of hash power. And we know that there's a lot of people coming into the space with new mining things. I don't think we need to worry until there's an obvious, they have over 50% and they're starting to censor transactions, or they're doing something weird on the back end. Again, the economic incentives are such that you're not going to 51% attack. And if they did, they would suffer some serious social consequences. There would be a lot of people that would just refuse to buy their miners. They would, a lot of people would just maybe do kind of a soft fork where you can invalidate blocks mined by them and go on their own network. There's a lot of ways in which they can get punished if they behave badly. Now, is it good that they have this much? Not really. I'd like for it to come down, but you don't need to panic yet, right? Like there are 42%. There's other pools. Matt's Better Hash protocol is coming. Once there's I'm sure pools like Slush will switch to Better Hash very quickly. Even other pools, I imagine, will do the same thing. And as those pools implement that software and you have more diversity, people will go from Antpool or BTC.com to these other pools, and more hardware will come. So I mean, again, this is a temporary problem. A lot of people panic over like, oh no, Bitcoin's going to die in the next 2 weeks or something like that. Like stop paying attention to the doom and gloom. It's kind of like reading Zero Hedge or something, the perma bear, news or whatever. News, this is a thing that I've learned about news, having cut it out for like the past year and a half. It's there to stir up your emotions so that you want to keep reading. That's what their purpose is. And that's what this article is definitely trying to do. So know that this article is trying to manipulate you, as are most news articles. And if you know that, then you're less susceptible to panic or fear or anger or what have you, because they're obviously trying to manipulate you. Don't get manipulated. Like don't be a chump.
Thanks, Jimmy. And Tone, we know you love Bitmain. What were your thoughts? And also Coindance.
Yeah, so if you scroll down, it just has like a better breakdown of the click on nodes or blocks. If you scroll up a little bit, click on blocks.
You want blocks? Okay.
Yeah. All right, cool. Now you can scroll down. A little more.
Where do you want me to scroll to?
And then the next two charts.
Okay.
Perfect.
Oh,
okay.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right. So these are just like the latest stats. Instead of using the article, we're just going to the stats. Okay. So first of all, Antpool isn't really Bitmain, right? Like anyone can mine with Antpool. All right. So let's not get crazy here. Like the article mentions, ghash.io was a mining pool that actually reached 51%. In 2014. I remember this very clearly. A lot of people kind of mentally panicked. Bitcoin was never at risk. Nothing ever happened to Bitcoin. And Ghash may or may not even be on the list anymore. If they are less than 1%. That's what happens when people leave your pool. Antpool is just a pool. People can move from Antpool. BTC.com. Yes, BTC.com is affiliated with Bitmain because most of their hardware is Bitmain hardware. I would say that Via BTC is even more affiliated with Bitmain, right? But they're just pools. Anybody can switch. You can throw Bitcoin.com in there, right? So let's do the math. Do Antpool plus BTC.com, just ballpark it, plus Via BTC plus Bitcoin.com. And what do we have? We probably have, close to 50%. And it doesn't matter. They're different.
It's 53.
53, right? They're all affiliated there. And also keep an eye on that other. That other is like 4%, right? So we have no idea what's going on there. If I had to guess, I would say other is Antpool, right? Not Antpool, sorry. Other is Bitmain, right? Like somewhat likely, right? Like people already know that they're the biggest one in the space and they make their own hardware. Why would they want to, scare the ecosystem and drop the price of the valuable Bitcoin they could be mining with their own hardware in testing stage, before they sell it to you or whatever, like the newest hardware. So if I worry about anything on this list, I would worry about the other, which is only 4% by itself, okay? And then I know that Bitcoin.com, if they're still mining Bitcoin, and Via BTC, they're the real bad actors here when it comes to the world of mining. Now, can we pull up the Bcash breakdown? Oh, never mind. Nope, not that one. The coin, that one, right? No, that's Bitcoin. Cash. Did I send you the wrong site? Sorry.
Yep.
Just stick cash in front of the word coin in the URL. Cash.coin.dance.
Cash.coin. Okay.
Yeah.
Loading.
Okay, perfect. Now scroll that down to the same pie chart and look, the unknown is, what is that? Like, I can't see the number. Sorry, it's a little small on my screen. Is that 31% or something? Oh yeah, you're muted. You're all muted.
It's about 30.
Right. Right. So that's about 30%. You have via BTC at 14, and oh, you know what? I don't know. I just thought not seeing it well. Antpool is at 10, and BTC.com is at 10. Okay, that 31% of unknown. That is your problem, right? Bitcoin.com has a big dominance. It's 5.8. You know, CoinGeek they're all working together. That is the centralization of stuff, okay? Because all of these guys are working together. You know, CoinGeek and Bitcoin.com are great friends. That might as well be the same pool. And via BTC is with them. And the other is 31%. I mean, that is centralization of mining. Don't give me this crap about Bitcoin. That's fine. There's actual movement around between which pool you're going to mine with in the Bitcoin world. I don't worry about this at all.
Sounds good. Tone, did you?
Oh yeah, sorry, forgot about that. So this is the hash rate between Bcash and Bitcoin. If you put your cursor over on January 1st, like either on the blue or on the red, like on that line, on the actual horizontal vertical line, just slide the mouse over to the vertical line. Perfect. Right. So that is the hash rate on January 1st. You can see how, let's even round up, right? So Bcash is at 2 and Bitcoin is at 15. So Bitcoin hash rate was only 7.5, so 15 divided by 2. So it was only 7.5 times more hash rate on Bitcoin than Bcash. Now let's go to June 1st. 6 months later, okay, same thing, right on that line. What do we got? We got Bcash at 4 and Bitcoin at 36. So now Bitcoin hash rate is 9 times greater than Bcash after 6 months. And now if you scroll all the way to the right, and if you go to today, what is it today? It's 4.43 versus 41. It's even bigger, right? So Bitcoin hash rate continues to separate itself from Bcash hash rate, and that should tell you all you need to know.
Thanks, Tone. Jimmy, any response to that? Otherwise, we're going to move to the great news on Lightning.
Let's move to the great news on Lightning.
Let's do it. All right. Can you break this down?
Yeah, so C Lightning released their new version 0.6, and it has a bunch of nice little upgrades from a coding perspective. Routing should probably be a little faster and things like that. It's a lot more modular. There's something called HSMD that's I think moving towards using hardware security modules for Lightning channels, which makes all the sense in the world. You want the protection of a hardware security module over your keys when you're using something like the Lightning Network. And I've been asking for this for a long time, which is a consumer level HSM for managing your keys while you're online. That would be the way to protect it. And if you don't know what an HSM is, it's a device, it's a hardware device that has your private key inside of it. And it can sign and do things, but you can't extract the private key out very easily. And in fact, with FIPS level 3 HSM hardware, If you try to tamper with it and open it, or try to do something to it to get the private key out from a hardware perspective, the machine, the actual hardware will destroy the private key. There's it'll just destroy it rather than let you go and get it. So that idea, I think, is coming together, and this is what Christian and Rusty, I think, are working on at Blockstream with C Lightning. At some point, you will have consumer level HSMs, and if Lightning becomes more popular, that's definitely what you'll want to do. Is have an HSM, and that can manage all of the actual signing. You don't leave it on your computer. You're not vulnerable to hacking. At that point, I think you can leave more money on a Lightning channel, because you can sign things back and forth and so on, and you'll have a very secure way to keep it on. Right now, one of the bigger security concerns that people have had, and the reason why Lightning's in beta, is because of the private key management that you have to do. You have to keep your private key online in order to do the signing, whereas with a lot of larger transactions, you can do something like offline signing and whatnot. I think of an HSM as like a souped up Trezor or something like that, except like you can't probe the hardware or anything. Instead you just the device will sign it or destroy it if you try to tamper with it and so on. So very excited about this. I still haven't set up my Lightning node. I should hang my head in shame. And maybe I will later in this video. But yeah, it's an exciting thing. I think they rewrote almost all of it, which is quite impressive given how complicated it is. At some point, I do plan to have like a Lightning course, but that's maybe like a long while away. So yeah.
Thanks, Jimmy. Tone, I think you're also wearing the Blockstream hoodie again. What were your thoughts on when this got released yesterday?
I am. I haven't had time to read this particular article. Now, again, the technical inner workings of Lightning are slightly beyond my technological and coding abilities, and I have not had time to keep up with all the articles. I will try to watch the live stream from Building on Bitcoin event, which I think will be very heavily focused on Lightning. And for now, I will let the technical guys speak for this. I am also considering, and maybe Jimmy, you'll help me out with this, like when we did that 6-hour stream by having like 5 lawyers and a couple of loudmouths, including myself, on there. But the majority was just lawyers that knew what they were talking about. Maybe we can set up like a 3 or a 4-hour live stream with different Lightning devs, coming into the channel for like 30, 40 minutes and like explaining what they're working on and how everything's going, and like have this one monster 4-hour stream with introducing multiple people, not at the same time. Well, I'll try and time it better not to have 9 people on at once, but this like one show with a bunch of Lightning devs. So maybe you and I can work on something like that sometime in July.
Well, I'm on vacation most of July, but I'm sure Elizabeth Stark and Lalu and a bunch of other people from Lightning Labs and Blockstream would love to do something like that. But yeah, let's figure something out.
I would definitely like you to be on it, so we can do it when you're back from your this will take some coordination. I mean, maybe you can help me coordinate this, and then we can set it up for late July when you're back. Pick a day in advance.
Well, I'm going to be back in August, but yeah, we'll figure something out. Yeah.
Okay, fine. I mean, like again, August, like it's fine. Like Lightning isn't going to be production ready till end of year anyway, so we have time on this. But I want to do like this one stream to put all of this nonsense surrounding Lightning to rest.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Yeah, this was very exciting. Giacomo had some friends that worked on this. If you check out his tweet. And we are going to quickly move to my favorite coin, which is EOS. Sorry, I just love this so much. Great example of an ICO. So specifically what happened really quickly this morning is this blacklist. So with this blacklist, they tried to freeze the EOS in this account, in these accounts, if I understand it correctly. but apparently the blacklist only works if all block producers have it implemented and one block producer didn't. So the people from the phishing scam were able to move their EOS to an exchange to sell them for another non-traceable coin. Tone, please indulge me for a second. You don't even know that I'm about to do this. How's EOS doing?
Oh God, it's doing terrible.
I threw up your indicator, by the way.
Oh yeah, you got it. Well, I mean, it had a sequential. This is the daily chart. It had a sequential 13. You know, giving it a nice little bounce on a hammer candle. That did not amount to much. You are now on a daily 5. Can you like zoom this out a little bit, like contract the range
or further in?
Perfect. No, the other way.
Yep.
Yeah. Perfect. So that looks like the floor. It looks like the floor is about $4. Can you scroll in a little more? I want to see if there was a lower floor. No. Do what you did before with the. Yep, perfect. Yeah. So the moment this thing comes down to $4, it's pretty much going to go all the way back down to like 20 cents. It's great. I mean, EOS has gone up to $23. It is now down to $7, and I see nothing here that's going to hold it up. And I mean, look, EOS was always pure trash. They even told you in their terms of services how this token is totally useless. It has no value. You shouldn't buy it. They told you this in their terms of service. Now, because everybody bought it and didn't listen to them because EOS is unlicensed, unregistered security of the EOS Corporation, the SEC is not going to care that the terms of service said you're buying a useless token. They're going to look and see how this token was created. They're going to look and see how this token is being used. And if they have, 2 brain cells worth of damn over at the SEC, they're going to rule it an unlicensed, unregistered security. That should immediately, put everybody at the organizational level of EOS as in violation of SEC's laws of creating unlicensed, unregistered securities, which should ban them for life from raising money ever again, which I think is a great thing. And we'll see what happens here.
Thank you for indulging me. Jimmy, do you have any thoughts on what just happened with EOS?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to reiterate what I've said. Everyone thinks that Bitcoin's governance is broken. Well, you change it to something else. This is the crap that happens is that, you have reversals of double spends and then, conflicting governors, I guess, of EOS or whatever the hell they're called. I mean, these people control it. I don't know why you would want to give control to 27 strangers.
21.
They're 21 strangers.
They're not that decentralized, Jimmy. 21.
Yeah,
Stop giving them credit.
And it's so weird how people think that they can improve on the governance of Bitcoin, which is more or less let's just do only things that everyone agrees on. Whereas with EOS or Ethereum or whatever, it's like a few people that decide for everybody. I mean, if you're gonna do that, why aren't you just holding fiat? It doesn't really make any sense.
And they're not strangers. If there were strangers, there could be some censorship resistance there. They're well known. And
well, it's really Dan Larimer and he and his 21 puppets or something, and one of the puppets is misbehaving. So,
but guys,
so now,
you're forgetting it's #1 for China's index. They already went through with the most brilliant experts and decided that it's the most stable, innovative, best technology coin.
Oh yeah, authoritarian government thinks authoritarian coin is awesome. What a shocker that is. This is just this is what happens when you try different forms of governance and people disagree. We talked about this with Tezos a few days ago. This is what happens with EOS as well. And all of these other ones that are trying like different governance models and whatnot. I mean, it might work okay for a while, but inevitably you will come into strife. And this is exactly what's happened with EOS, probably earlier than pretty much everything else. But, this is what happens.
Thanks, guys. And everybody, thanks for indulging me on my favorite coin and following its mishaps and missteps every single day, it seems. Okay, done with that. Binance crypto exchange issues risk warning, keeps trading, withdrawals suspended. I think that we're soothsayers actually on this show. Tone, were you surprised at all with this news? What did you think?
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't looked at the details of this, so I have no idea what's going on. I mean, I'm not surprised that they're going to let you keep trading while not letting you withdraw because they still want to make their money. So there you go. I don't really know what happened there. I've never been a fan of Binance because they printed their own money to finance their operation. And you know, considering if you claim you have $1 billion, you'd think you'd have, you know, better security and not to have to, you know, stop withdrawals. Anyway, just saying.
Thanks. Jimmy? Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this, like they're spinning it as a system upgrade thing. And, you know, that's normal for any website to upgrade their stuff and suspend it. I don't know if you remember back in like 98, 99, 2000, Amazon would quote unquote have a scheduled maintenance at like 12 p.m. or something. It was just random times during the day when they would have quote unquote scheduled maintenance. We don't know what happened there. Maybe there was a hack. Maybe somebody's trying to move coins that are dirty or are associated with criminal activity or something. But yeah, I mean, yeah, don't take them straight at the word on this sort of thing. It's generally when you have activity like that, there's something going on that they're not telling us.
Yep. We'll definitely be able to see that was issued by the risk management department. And it sounds like that's going to be the case, but we'll follow. And Jimmy, weather report, please.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Still got some people with bad algorithms that are utilizing them to pay 200 Satoshi per byte. Thankfully, it's a minority. You know, there's kind of a flood of these like very 0 to 1 or 1 to 2 Satoshi per byte transactions. So you're probably gonna need to do like 3 or 4 to get it in the next few hours. If you need it in the next block, you could probably get away with around 10. But yeah, it looks good. Everything's going well.
You want to talk more about how upcoming workshops while we lost Tone?
Yeah, so I have 2 new ones that I just announced besides the Denver and the San Francisco. I have one in Chicago coming up in August 21st and 22nd. Still working out the venue exactly, but yeah, I'll be in Chicago that week. So that will be a lot of fun. And I am also doing the Czech Republic, Prague. Prague is going to be the place in October 8th and 9th. And that will be right after Hacker Congress, where I will also be speaking. So those things will be a lot of fun. That's going to be my one trip to Europe, probably this year. And yeah, I'm going to try to make it to other places and work on my book and get a lot of the other venues and stuff done online. So we'll see.
Wonderful. Thanks, Jimmy. Tone, we got you back.
Yes, I am back. I just want to give a heads up that I will be in New Haven, Connecticut tomorrow night for a live trading Bitcoin show from their meetup. So please go to the meetup.com website and RSVP. I forgot to throw this into the video description, but I will right after our show. I'll go ahead and throw it in there. All right, I got about 5 minutes because I am going to be interviewing Saifedean Ammous of the Bitcoin Standard book at the top of the hour. So come back to this channel for my On the Record with Saifedean. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. So yesterday when we looked at this candle was somewhat bullish. You were seeing, you know, a little more of a green body. You are back to being flat. Today is only Tuesday. You know, so the week still has 5 more days to go. And we still don't know if there's going to be a green or a red candle. We are sitting right at last week's close. So as long as we have a lower closing week, so as long as the Sunday price next week is lower than the Sunday price of this week, we're still going down. So we'll see where that goes. But we are remain on a 7 of 9, and my expectation of a drop to $5,000 in the first 2 weeks of July is still the target. we continue to look like late September of 2014 in our comparison to what Bitcoin's last bear market did. So here's the daily chart. As expected, the daily chart is flipping to a price flip, which continues to frustrate me as in attempts to predict the price of Bitcoin. I would have loved to call a temporary Bitcoin bottom on this 9 going to the downside throughout the first half of June, but the 5 candle went a little too low, which was the 13th of June, making it hard for us to actually catch that 9. We have kicked off a new one on a 1, which made it very difficult to time your trade using daily candles. To the downside, your reversal candle came on a 3. We are now price flipping. And if I turn on the some of my indicators, the volume kind of evens itself out. The big volume spike on a big drop, but then the big volume spike on the reversal candle is generally positive. Your CMF is going up compared to the last couple of lows. So that's a good positive sign for a slight potential in a divergence situation. The 12-hour chart has been significantly better in timing your trades. Look how beautifully we rebounded back to the prior breakdown level of 67.50 and got rejected, falling below the $6,300 area, which was the prior closing low. We now pulled perfectly back in there, and these were the arrows that I had drawn in real time. So obviously when I drew this arrow on the 23rd of June, we fell significantly lower and made a new low the following day, but then rebounded back to the breakdown level of 6,300. Now, again, this shows you that you can get the general trend correct, but inside that general trend, trading it is very, very difficult. We now bounce back to 6,300. I remember I said in yesterday's show, I was pretty much looking at high reward, low risk on short trades as of yesterday, and that it looks like it's starting to head down. I do think that anything can happen. We can bounce up to new highs, but I think the probability is that we are going to approach 6,000 and break below it to set us up for that $5,000 low in early July. The upswing came on one candle. Here's the 4-hour chart. The CMF has been positive a little bit, but it's now starting to go down. The RSI never made it to overbought. Look at how perfectly the price went and hit this line. I don't think this line existed, or maybe it did. I don't remember when I drew this line. What time is it now? I think I drew this line right here yesterday, and we got rejected right from this line. I'm just going to extend it a little bit. And we got rejected from this line. We are now on a 4 of 9 on a 4-hour. Let's see if there is a substantial rebound from the vicinity of 6,100 on the 4-hour chart that takes us back to 6,300. I will then concede that 6,300 can break to the upside and we can go as high as 7K. So we might delay that $5,000 target, but it is coming. I have still full confidence that that's what we're going to get to. And the daily chart is inside the cloud. Here are the parameters of the cloud that I got from Nick, with whom I do the shows sometimes. And I still need to brush up my memory on how to trade the cloud. But for those of you that know how to trade the cloud, these are the 1-hour parameters of the cloud that I have on this chart. That's about it. I have not looked. This is the 30-minute chart. Doesn't matter. I have not looked at traditional markets. The weekly gold is still going down. The monthly gold is still going down. The S&P, as I said yesterday, I was thinking that yesterday was going to bounce, and that's exactly what happened. We're still going to get our 9 tomorrow. It is possible that off of this 9, we either get a full-blown reversal to the upside because of the setup trend line holding, and also at the least you get a 1 to 4 candle correction. However, keep in mind that the weekly is coming off a 9, so there could be still 2 more days of correction, And this 9 has the ability to take us all the way down to new swing lows. So trend it carefully. I think that sometime over the next week or two, the probability is with the bulls. But if the bulls cannot bring this thing to new all-time highs by the end of the summer, the S&P could be in a little bit of trouble.
All right, great. Thank you, everybody. I am being grilled on my Croatian in the live chat, so I'm just going to say, Bok, kako si? Ja govorite hrvatski slabo slabo. So again, oprosti. But everybody have a great day. Jimmy, thanks for telling us about the workshops, and
This song is done.
love it. And Tone.
Good luck trading out there. Come back in about 20 minutes for my On the Record with Seyfeddin Ammous of the Bitcoin Standard book.
And everybody, you can find this on the audio podcast. It's awesome. Tone-based audio podcast. And definitely, yeah, it's about 15 minutes from now for Seyfeddin. So everybody have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you all later.